Welcome to Salford Stories Podcast. I hope you've been enjoying them. Going to be having guests on soon, so can't wait for that. Okay, episode 7, more or less about the story of when I was in my 30s and having my daughter. Let's go. You're going to love this one. I know everyone will love this one. It's about the story of my daughter being born. In a way, saved me twice, because once for being born, then I kicked into sort of dad mode, because I never had a dad myself, so I kicked into father mode and I just went all out every second, every day. I don't regret it now. I did at the time because I didn't see much of my friends as much, but I spent every second I could trying to pour anything positive I had into my daughter, because I did that and I stopped drinking at this time. I mean, I was drinking a little bit because we had a relationship based around drinking sometimes, so we're still at weekends trying to let your hair down, but then eventually more or less stopped drinking altogether. Like I say, it was more or less the responsibility I had to stand up to it. So you're going to love this story because she was born in a bathroom in Salford. So let's get into it. I managed to get out of that house and then get this flat in Salford. And Parker Properties it was. They was Jewish owned as well. Did a little bit of work for them, bit of roofing when I did roofing with my granddad. I did a little bit of work for them. Yeah, so we got this flat and then we ended up having Hera. I think in the next year or we had Hera because we was away from Little Hulton as well. It was really good, must just give us the space. So she was born in there, she was actually born in that house, in that flat, that apartment at the top. She was born in the bathroom. The story goes, as they say, and I mean for men, I don't know whether it's more scary for men. I know the women have to do the pain and everything with the birth, but it's quite scary for a man, especially a responsible man. So I wanted to do, it was probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life when she was in labour. Because it was more or less I delivered her. I delivered her, yeah. She fell into my arms. It's just an amazing story. So you're gonna love it. We'll go from the night before she was born. I was with my girlfriend who was in there. We had the back room, changed it all into a nice back room, and then the side bedroom we've made into a baby room with a crib and everything. Then with the back room, we just had it nice and quiet and chilled out for my daughter's mum. I was just making her food, just relaxing her, because we was both scared. We both didn't know what to expect. And then the labour, it was weird actually, because it wasn't straightforward, like you'll find out now. So it's the day before, she was having, don't know whether it was contractions, moaning about pains and movement, and sensing it was going to come soon. And I was just hanging around in the daytime, just waiting around. I was just waiting on her, getting her what she needed. And she wanted to just get out and go for a walk for some fresh air. This is on the day, this is before she was just about to give birth, so I don't know why. It must be I don't know, it's a natural thing. But she was wanted to do that. I can remember her walking down to the post office on Broughton Precinct, the bottom, and then she walked back. And I think that somehow triggered it. It must have triggered it, because then throughout that night, we was both there, she was lying in bed all night, more or less awake, both awake all night, because she would just lay on her side, just uncomfortable and not feeling right, knowing that something that she's probably going to start giving birth soon. But what we didn't know at the time is she was having contractions throughout that night, I think, sort of like that. Then through the day, then she got home from this walk, and then it was about, and towards 8, 9 o'clock, I think it was, because she was born at about 10 at night, so it was late evening. So then she started having all these contractions and pains and stuff, and we didn't know what it was, so we was just get her drinks and ease the pain for her. And then eventually she felt like she wanted to go to the toilet, so she went in the bathroom, and then she was in the bathroom for absolutely ages, and then she was in and out of the bathroom, and this is where it more or less all starts here. And then she started having really bad pain, thinking she needed the toilet. She was trying to go to the bathroom, but then we must have realised she's giving birth. It's starting. The labour's even starting now. I can just remember that I was on the phone to the hospital, to the midwife, because I think we was ringing him every hour or so, just checking and make sure. Nervous, so we kept ringing him, just asking him what to do. And then so we had them on the phone. So she started giving birth, and then this is how I knew, because she started screaming. So she was screaming, shouting me, and help her. And then I'd go, open the bathroom door, and she'd scream at me, no, get out, get out, get out. And then a minute later, she'd be shouting at me again, come back and help me. And then this is it with a woman giving birth. Pain, wow. So she's shouting me in and out of the bathroom. I'm fucking running around, didn't know what to do. I think I had a glass of wine, several. I was just running, and then I remember, and I was on the phone to the midwives, and then eventually one of the midwives must have said, "Listen, she's having the baby now. She's giving birth now." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she started telling me what to do, and I was like, "What?" She was telling me, and then she was still sat in the toilet. She was like, "Where is she?" I was like, "Sat in the toilet." Right? She was like, "Right, we'll make it." Keep her there because she's giving birth. So I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. So she's telling me what to do, and she said, like, listen, put your hands underneath it and cup it, sort of thing. This is, you know what I mean? This is me. I put my hand under there. She's like sitting on the toilet with like above the bowl, like sitting up and screaming and you know giving birth. So I put my hands underneath, and I actually did. I felt her head, felt around head, and it was like, oh, what the, it was fucking unbelievable. I was like, what do we do? And she's dead, and the midwife's on the phone telling me what to do, telling my girlfriend to calm down. I'd like grab her head, and then her head's there, and she wasn't really coming out. Oh, that's it, I remember now. She wasn't really like coming out, so I was like, I couldn't grab hold of her head. And then I think I had to grab her shoulders, like, and you've got to understand, I grabbed the shoulders with my two fingers, as if you'd pick something up, you know, like with two fingers, with your thumb and your finger. Grabbed the shoulders sort of thing with my thumbs and my fingers like that, and then sort of wiggled and pulled her out, and at that point she just fell into my hands. Like, can we, you know, the joke is she's lucky she didn't fall into the toilet bowl. Anyway, she fell into my hands and picked her up, and the umbilical cord was there and everything. Like, oh my god! And at this time we didn't know what we was doing, but we'd been on the phone to my nana, because you know my nana's had a few kids, so I had my nana on the phone, and at that time she was actually driving. And she was on the way up in the car. And this is one of the reasons that I know God exists as well, because honestly, it couldn't have happened any other way. So my nana's on the way in the car. Here her falls out into my hands to grab her. I grab her like that. And you've got to remember, there was 3 flights of stairs till you got to the top of mine. And my nana at that point was still about 60 odd, probably. And I was like holding her, so I picked her up. And you know, it was like that point that, like in films, and you see that scene where, and you hold the baby up in there like that. Well, it was a bit like that. She was like, but at that minute, we were still panicking so much. We were just looking at each other. It was like, what do we do? What do we do? And she wasn't actually crying either. She was not making a sound. You know, like I say, unbelievably, at that very second, my nana blasted through the door, opened the front door, come into the bathroom, picked her up without even thinking, I went like that, now what do we, she sort of just grabbed hold of her, took her out my hands, and then patted her back, and then pulled this stuff out of her mouth. She had all this like goo and stuff, this stuff out of her mouth. She patted it out and pulled it, and she took this big breath, then did this big cry. Absolutely, oh, that's when you believe that, that's when you know. So my nana, like, in that very single second, what, come through the door, had her in her hands, and then just did what she knows how to do, and like saved them. She more or less saved her life. But here's another amazing thing, unbelievable. Can't make it up, and this was like out of this world, because here she was born, like she was born in the bathroom. So when she was born, we didn't know what to do, and like she's still connected to the umbilical cord, and then but she was born with a special 1 in a million. I don't know if anybody's heard about it. It's called a veil. When a baby's born with a veil. Well, in the olden days, when the sailors used to set off, they used to carry these babies' veils with them. I don't know what for luck or for protection. But here he was born with one of them. If we would have known it at the time, I would have kept it. But we didn't know anything about this, so we got told this after, because we were telling everybody this story, and we said, listen, she had this bag, the bag was still over her, and she had this like thing on her face, this like skin all over her face, and it's called the veil. It's a special thing we learned days after. Unbelievable. It doesn't happen a lot, and if you get one of them baby's veils, wow. I'm thinking about it now. God, I wish I would have kept it. I'd be a millionaire. No, I don't know. I think they're for like luck or protection. Something special about it. I'll have to Google it. But yeah, she was born with one of them. It doesn't happen very often at all. So she was she was here born okay. My nana saved the day, like she always does. And then, oh, that was it. Yeah, the paramedics more or less came at that time. Like I say, this is one of the reasons as well. You cannot deny there's a God, because this wouldn't have happened in if it wasn't for a higher force. So yeah, the paramedics come, and I can remember them. They come in, they rushed in, sort of thing. They put Abby in the back room. They got her, they clipped the umbilical cord, and I think they did ask me to cut it. I think I cut it, and then I remember them little plastic clips. I've still got her. Here is umbilical cord. I'm a bit like sentimental like that. Because as I say, it was the best thing to ever happen to me, because I don't know, this is when my life more or less started. Because like I mentioned in the other episode, I didn't have my own dad, so all I really wanted was to be a dad. I don't know, it must have been, it's like subconscious. She was there and she was okay, so the paramedics, then there was a little bit of complications for my girlfriend. She was okay though, took her in hospital, took her in the ambulance, and then I followed later on. My nanny cleaned the bathroom up as well. I can remember the blood. It was like, I've never seen so much blood in all my life. It went under the bath and everything, and my nanny's that amazing. She managed to clean it. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing, my nan. Looked after all of us, all of her grandkids. Like, she was more like my mum than my nana. She taught us manners, everything. So we was in hospital that night, stayed in there. We was like, still had that all the anxiety you have and the worry, and we couldn't sleep. But she was okay, and we were just in a sort of basket, in a plastic sort of unit thing next to you, and you have to just stay on the bed. Abby was lying on the hospital bed. Then we just stayed there all night. Everything was okay. They just monitored us all. I think there was a little problem with her mum with the placenta, because I don't think all of the placenta come out, and then they eventually had to get it out. Yeah, it ended up okay. It ended up working out all alright. Her mum was okay, and Hera was okay. Hera was really strong anyway. When she was born, she was like a little gorilla. She's like a little ball, and she's like, when she let out that scream, it was like, ah, it's like a roar. And she is actually, what is she? I'm sure she's a Leo. She's really strong, full of iron, because she took all the iron, the midwife said, and the hospital staff. But yeah, everything was okay. All worked out okay. So I'll follow this story on in the next season about how my daughter, like I said, the responsibility sort of kept me on the right track, because I had to be there for her all the time, and like, so it saved me in a way. I hope you enjoyed that one anyway. That was a bit different. I'll see you in the next episode.